browser.
Mm-hmm.
It says here this meeting is being live streamed. So
Right.
we're on.
Browser. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Does that sound irritating?
No.
No?
okay.
Good. Thank you.
Good morning. Hi, everyone.
No.
Mark Saffin. This is Art Matters New York. And as usual, you probably recognize the faces of our group by now, and you probably even know our names. But if you don't, then I will repeat them. I'm here with Hans Vici, my colleague.
Hi, everyone.
Here with Marie Krivekis and Phyllis Gutman, Barbara Lowenstein, and Anita Harmon. So hello, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
I guess we can start out by looking at some of our own work this morning. As I said, I was in New York a few days ago, and I took a few photographs of a show that I thought was very interesting, of an artist that I was really not familiar with, whose name is K-E-R, Xavier Roussel. And I bet, has anyone ever heard of that particular
Yes.
art?
No.
Yes. Wasn't he either an impressionist or post-impressionist?
Yeah, good, Barbara. I'm really
Yeah.
impressed. So yeah, he was a Nabi, and if you recall, the
Oh,
Nabi
and
were,
Nabi.
right? Leonard, Vuillard, and Denis, right?
Yeah.
D-E-N-S.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was kind of the lesser known, probably not at the time, but he was not. Well, when we get into the work and I show it to you, you'll understand. I was sort of perplexed too, why I knew the other three artists very well, Bonnard particularly, Vuillard, of course, and Denis, but I didn't know him. I mean, I was not really familiar with his work, and we'll discuss the reason why, and it'll make total sense. Anyway, but to begin with, let's start off with our own work, okay? So let me oh, here I'm going to have to share the screen. Please bear with me. Oh, man. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm going to, 1 second. I have technical stuff here. Let me do this and see what happens. Okay.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking at?
Emily Dickinson.
Dickinson.
Let's start with that. So this is, should I start with this, Phyllis?
Well, it actually was not the start of the whole thing. The starter with the whole thing was Hans.
Really?
Yeah, he has on his Instagram, he has this music diary, right, Hans?
Yes.
And one day
Oh.
you posted about a fly that was making a shadow over a lampshade, while at the same time the radio was announcing that Queen Elizabeth had died.
Did you see that? Yes.
I did. So I said either he knew the poem or he didn't, but I knew the poem, so I took it out.
No, I didn't know that. That's very amazing.
You didn't know Emily Dickinson's
No,
poem?
yes, but I am not so familiar with her work and about the fly, where about this poem. You understand? Yeah.
Oh.
What? Yeah. Where are we going?
I'm going to your work.
Oh,
So
okay. And that was the resulting work.
okay. So you're seeing all this.
Yes.
Good.
I
Okay.
took some words from her poem and transposed them.
Right.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
Ah,
So do you want to, can we go back to the poem and read it?
Yeah, I think you should read the poem, yeah.
Let's do that.
If we could see Hans's, I don't know where it is.
I
Well,
can-
Hans can bring it up.
I
Diary.
will bring it up. Yes, I tell
Sure.
you when I'm ready to
It
show you
was such a
the clip.
strange coincidence.
Interesting. Yeah, hold on. I will find it and
Do you see the poem?
yes.
Yes,
Okay. So we can read that. Phil,
sure.
read it. Why don't you read it to us?
Okay. I heard a fly buzz when I died. The stillness in the room was like the stillness in the air between the heaves of storm. The eyes around had wrung them dry, and breaths were gathering firm for the last onset when the king be witnessed in the room. I willed my keepsakes, signed away what portion of me be assignable, and then it was there interposed a fly with blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me, and then the windows failed, and then I could not see to see.
Hmm.
Oh,
Wonderful poem.
yes.
Wow, amazing.
So I
Yeah.
took the last line and
Yes,
played
I
with it.
realize. Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I might show you now the movie
Please,
on Instagram.
yes.
Hold on, I will
Mm.
go to share. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
I'm not seeing a movie, but I'm certainly seeing
Oh,
your.
I'm gonna show you. That was
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Oh. What? Oh.
Should there be a sound or not?
no, the sound is only at the beginning
Okay.
because I made, I show it again. But you can see shadow of a fly. You see that?
Yes, yes,
While
yes.
the breaking news of Queen Elizabeth's death is being broadcast on the radio, I see a large shadow of a fly on the wall in circles, running on circles on top
Mm.
my bedside lampshade in Zurich. That was on the September 8th, at night.
Wow.
And it was so
Mm.
weird.
Yes.
Wow.
It's
Hmm.
kind of what you need.
So at the
That's wild.
I think that portrays her poem just
So
beautifully.
at the beginning, you hear the sound of the radio,
Yes, I was
But then
thinking that.
I zoomed a bit in and without the sound, the second part.
Right.
That was on the
Wow. That what an amazing juxtaposition of coincidence.
Yes.
I miss the sound of the radio because that would really, really do it for me.
you don't hear the sound.
No.
No.
Hold on. Sorry. I have to share the sound with it. Yeah, that's always. I do it again. Hold on. Here. Let me see. Yeah. Let's wait. It will repeat, I think. Let me see.
36 eine heitere Kindheit, so heißt es. Und so sah es aus. Sie hatten ein wirklich idyllisches Leben, denn damals war Elisabeths Vater noch nicht König.
It's in German, it's a German.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even so, it works. It helps.
Right. Sorry, I didn't realize that you didn't hear the sound.
I mean,
And
if it was titled "The Death of Queen Elizabeth II," it would make sense even if I heard it in German as an English woman.
Yeah, that's, it's here in the title up here, we have to,
Yes.
36 eine heitere Kindheit, so heißt es. Und so sah es aus. Sie hatten ein wirklich idyllisches Leben, denn damals war Elisabeths Vater noch nicht König.
So it's just, they talk about her life on the radio,
Yeah.
how she grew up, how, and so on, And
Yeah.
then this weird fly going,
No, it
I thought
makes
it was-
complete sense. It really does.
it's coincident, and
Yeah.
this strange fly and the shadow.
36 eine
I
heitere
mean, I was shocked, when I saw it, I was a bit shocked. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, maybe this is already the soul of Elizabeth.
Kindheit, so heißt es. Und so sah es aus.
It's what,
Wow.
it's what Carl Jung
Great.
calls synchronicity.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Interesting. Mm.
It's amazing, actually. It's somebody once said, artists are people who organize accidents, and that's
Right.
beautifully organized accident.
right.
Uh,
I don't think it's an accident.
Quite well.
Well, to
Because
organize
there's a
it,
confluence
mind.
of ideas in all of us.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah,
think
but the universe,
is.
there's a lot of randomness. In other words, how things
it's
intersect.
random, but it's connected.
Well, of course it is. I mean, we
Yes.
give it meaning. We look at it and we find out what it means in
Yeah.
some
Right.
form, in
And
some
see,
extent.
Hans associated the fly with death.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yes.
Yes.
Emily Dickinson is doing.
Yeah,
Yes.
She
yeah.
does it in a more humorous way. She does a very humorous job of it because she does believe in God and she doesn't, and who cares?
Right.
Kind of thing.
But,
That's,
the
that's her
fly,
tone.
the fly is a very good example for a low life also, I mean,
Yes.
millions and billions of fly, you swat the fly, you hate flies. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's about life, but it's in a way just telling how life is so nothing at the
It's the
end.
sameness of the universe.
Insignificant.
It's
Very
insignificant,
insignificant.
trivial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the smallest unit of a life form, of the embodied life form without any meaning whatsoever.
Well, it does
That's
have a
what she
certain.
said.
Does
Uh,
have a s-
That's what she's saying. Ultimately, that's what her poetry says.
yeah,
It's all a lot of fun and let's have it. And
Mhm.
everybody thinks she's a poet of death, and she's not really. She's a
No.
poet of life. And
Yes.
I think
always-
it's a wonderful connection, Phyllis, you made. And
that's great.
it's coincidence.
Absolutely,
It's absolutely.
Yes.
absolutely right.
I thank
Yeah.
you for
You
starting.
should actually write a comment about it and put it in Instagram as a comment.
Oh.
The poem,
I would like to. I don't know how to do that. I'm not very technically,
Okay. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Because it's a very nice, wonderful.
Yeah, it was a
thing.
great
Yeah.
connection.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it is. It's very free.
Mm.
I think anyone on Instagram has probably discovered Gorvy. I don't remember his first name.
Oh, I love his work.
So he always
with the
combines.
I love it.
Yeah, he always combines paintings with
Poet.
poetry,
Poem
and he has a
Oh.
very, very broad and deep
exactly.
knowledge of poetry.
And painting. Both
Well, painting,
together.
yes, he's a gallerist, but
Yeah.
his knowledge of poetry is pretty
Is
impressive.
immense. It's
Immense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read him all the time.
Yeah.
I love his posts. I really
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I agree.
That.
So for some reason, this to me looks like, after the fly is sort of swatted, let's say, on the wall, this painting, Phyllis.
Yeah. I hear you.
I like
Okay.
the piece. It's
Yeah.
There is music in there too.
Well, I remembered last time I destroyed a piece and I
Yeah.
figured, let me go back to it. And I did, in a different way, from the angle of this poem.
Mhm.
Mm.
And of course, Hans's
But
musical.
I feel this is very juicy. This to me looks like bodily fluids. I've
Oh.
got to say that the red and
Mm.
it just feels like,
Mm.
it has a
Yes.
slightly different sense, a meaning.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
It's
Mm.
visceral, somehow.
Yeah. It's very compelling, you want to keep looking at it.
Right. Mhm. Mhm. I
Mm.
agree.
But I
Yeah.
love the inclusion of the text. I like how that works.
That's a piece of mulberry paper.
Yeah.
I love mulberry paper because
Mm.
it's transparent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
I can see that.
Mm.
I like the composition of this, and I really like the yellow lines. I think it really adds a lot. And the flesh tone is interesting too, in the background. And I like
Mm.
the note, and it's interesting. And it was fascinating to listen to both of you about The Fly and Emily Dickinson, because you're
Great.
Phyllis. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
interesting to see how you got inspired in what you did.
Hmm.
Beautiful.
Well, I actually followed the thought, I think.
Yeah.
And lots of times you can do that is to nail a thought and follow it.
Yeah.
And it brings you to an interesting place.
Yeah, it sure
Hmm.
did.
I was surprised when there was I know some of you saw it, the exhibition at MoMA about the Matisse painting, The Red Room, which was one
Yes.
of his, seminal paintings. It was just like a color peel, all red, with
Yeah.
his own paintings depicted in his studio on a red ground. And I remember reading in that show that he said that every one of his paintings begins with a feeling. So I think that there's kind of a connection between
Yes.
a feeling and a thought. I don't think there's
It's a feeling thought, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
I think it's sort of synonymous.
Yes.
And
And that's what
that's what
poetry is.
that's what motivated all of his paintings. He had a very precise feeling thought, and they culminated in the paintings. And I think that's why they're great, and they're powerful. They have a focus. They
And
have
I think it's like Hans is, catching on to this idea, and Emily Dickinson and
Yeah.
all. It's like part of all of us, which is a huge composite. Sometimes you'd have an art form, for instance, developing in Europe, and all the way at the tip of South America was the same thing.
Yeah.
How
Mm.
come,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were not
Happens all the
they were
time.
not related,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but the human mind is related.
Yeah.
It's I think it's archetypes, as
Yes.
G.
Mm.
Young
Archetype.
described it. There are so many deep truths in our, or it's
Yeah.
which has nothing to do with culture itself. It's deeper than
Exactly.
the culture you
Right.
are in. It's like
Yeah.
you understand. It's almost just in the bones, or I don't know where it is, but
Yes. Yes.
archetype.
It's like myths that occur simultaneously in different cultures.
Yes, right.
It's essences that are so important
Yeah.
to our
Mm.
breathing almost.
Mhm.
Mm.
And like this piece now, I see, with this is now really you. You know what I'm saying? Before it was already
Yes.
coming from Side Wombly, you know what I'm saying?
Of what I accumulated in my head.
And now it's absolutely you. I don't see
Oh.
anybody else here.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yes, I
So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
made
set up
Oh, that's
a
great.
last time.
huge leap you made here, I think,
Hmm.
which you first rejected. That's why you destroyed the first piece, right?
Because I didn't want to see myself, right?
I'm so happy. It's wonderful. I think, and also that piece with that, you know, to including this literature thing of you. you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's just really working well. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I-
That's really
That's where my, you know, my studies started. When I was in college, I was all into literature. Motherwell was teaching at Hunter at the time, and I didn't even know it because I was
Really?
steeped in the Middle Ages and romantic poetry and literature. I didn't even know he was there.
Mhm,
Oh,
Wow.
God.
mhm,
And I could have, you know, I
Mhm.
thought to myself, why didn't I know it?
mhm. He was not famous yet, or whatever.
He was just starting. It was in the 50s.
Hmm.
You know, he was beginning to get very well known.
Yeah.
There's some
And-
wonderful YouTubes of him that
Yeah.
I've watched.
And
Mm.
Hunter, the school I went to, was a wonderful college at that time. I mean, I don't
Mm.
think many people got the education I did
Yeah.
because things have changed so much. I was
Yeah.
very, very fortunate to have that kind of education. I really
And where
was.
was it, Phyllis?
Hunter on
At
68th
Hunter.
Street.
Right.
Went to college. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
it's
great
not
school.
not the school that's now. It was an all-girls school. We had town and downtown, and all we did was study. We studied. It was wonderful.
Mm.
Wonderful time of my life.
Mm.
Never
Mhm.
happens again. Never.
Ah,
It's
yeah.
wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Really,
right.
I think that's the
good.
basis of all this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's see.
You could even, Phyllis, maybe even, I don't know, I'll have to look it up. If you can post the image in the commentary, you know, that would be nice as a commentary of
Oh.
you know, where the fly is on
Mhm.
Instagram. That would be great.
Mm.
Mhm.
We can talk, Phyllis, about it. maybe.
Ooh,
Okay, thanks. Thanks for your help, Hans, and
But it would
Mark
be great
also as well.
contribution. It would be really great to have this, you know, this connection and this thing. And I mean, it's really
Mm.
a wonderful
you.
synaptic little thing here happen.
Yeah.
There
This
is
is
a reference in the poem to the blue fly at the end
yes, yes,
of the last
yes.
stanza. So this is a nice
Ah.
transition into Marie's work because I can see that,
goodness.
you know,
I
there
tell you
is some
too,
sort of, there is a
I-
feeling, you know, from what we've just been talking
Mm.
about.
if I could add something, blue flies are the ones that turn up at death. They're the particular kind of fly, and they're the ones that lay maggots.
Is that
Yes,
right?
so there is something about a blue fly. If you see a blue fly in your house, there's very
Yeah.
likely a dead mouse somewhere or something like that. Whereas ordinary
Oh.
house, yes.
Huh.
And I know we had a rat die on our walls. First I knew is we had something like 100 blue flies trying to get out of the window behind the curtains. It was very eerie. And
Oh.
I let them out. Obviously, we had sliding doors, but then they accumulated again, and I could smell
Oof.
something rotting. And there's not, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't get to it or anything, and it passed. But there's something about the appearance of blue bottles, we call them in England, which is
Okay.
sinister. It carries a sinister aura.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, they're particularly there to, you know, deal with dead bodies. So
Wow.
if you're dying in your bed and you see a blue bottle, you should think it's a pretty awful
Get
experience.
up.
Oh.
Yes,
It's a
really.
harbinger. It's a
Yes,
harbinger of
Oh,
no
gosh.
good.
they can smell
Oh.
decay. They can smell decay like from a very, very long
Yeah,
time.
right, exactly.
Run
Yeah.
to your dentist.
Yes, yes. So this blue is, you know, when you know that, it is quite a sinister painting.
Yes.
Mark, can you show the
Yes.
other pieces first?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Where do you want to
Mm.
start, Marie? There's 4.
E-
How about
Uh,
here?
Yeah,
Wow.
okay.
Oh.
So I had wanted to
Mm.
like everybody else, talk about stop uh stop thinking and more meditative.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes.
And so what I had done was I put together, I think the first the fourth, maybe the next shot would be better. Or the next photo, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Should I turn this?
yeah. So I had gotten some canvases, just tried to figure out, you know, where to put things. And so I had these panels that were 3 feet by 1 feet. And I painted those and thought that they would look the best in this location.
Yeah.
And then I had found a piece, the middle piece with the orange is a piece that, this is obviously a work in process. I started to do collaborative painting with a guy in my class named David Axelrod. And he does very exacting, like Stella kind of
Right.
work. And
Geometric abstraction.
yes, so I had painted this 3 by 3 piece months ago, and it was in the studio. And then I said, oh, let me see if this configuration, whether this 3 by 3 would look interesting. So I added that. Originally, it was just going to be 2 panels, 2 groupings. And then what I did was I took away those 2 blue painted panels, and then you could see the next piece.
Okay.
You know what, could you go down one more? I'm sorry. Yeah. And yeah, I think, yeah, perfect.
I like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like it that way too, but so I got rid of the 2 end panels and then tried to make the rest of the painting. I went over the canvases so that they would look connected.
Yes, I see that.
Yeah. And then the next slide. Sorry, Mark. I thought that this was really interesting. I didn't know how it would dry, but I had painted on it, but I used a lot of Windex to make it look like it was watercolor. And it dried really, like, I thought it looked interesting. So
Yeah.
I like the marks on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's tremendous.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
thanks.
you go back one, I mean, I noticed something, which is because I was looking sideways. If you look this way, it actually looks like a New York skyline gone crazy.
Yes. Look
The
at
rising
that.
sun. just a piece of information, because there is some, yeah, look at that. I mean,
No,
that
I kind of like it actually flipped
Oh, like this.
more.
like, to me, that's it kind of goes together in my brain. It's not, you know, it's if you I'm giving you what is a kind of ignorant response, which is when someone tries to take something figurative someone
No,
takes something figurative and sees something in it, and that.
well,
But
of
this
course.
one is quite a strong feeling of New York. That's all I
Yeah.
can say.
It
This
is,
way
you're
up.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a
I
piece of
see that too,
information.
yeah.
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 Well, the thing is, I'm really not afraid of being ignorant because sometimes I think it's helpful. But you
Oh.
know, I do
Well,
know
first of all,
that-
you're not ignorant, so I
Yeah,
appreciate
but yes, but I have come to art not by way of art school or training, and I'm aware of that.
Mhm.
And so there it is.
Now,
But I think
since
I love the touch of red and everything. It's just marvelous.
now I
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
since you say it looks like New York, I see a rat.
A rat.
Oh.
That's
God,
No flies?
my God, we really are in the
That's
World
New
War
York.
One trenches, aren't we?
Ah,
Yes.
fly in the ointment.
Oh, yes, all these things that come with flies. Yes. What an
Yes.
archetype. Yes.
So I
Mm.
separated the pieces here for two reasons. The first
Uh-huh.
reason I did it was because when you paint this way, if you leave the canvases together, the glop of paint will dry and it's very hard to separate.
Understood.
I've
Yes.
learned that, and what I do is on the sides, I get rid of the paint,
Mm.
at this process. at
Yeah,
this
sure,
point.
sure.
So it makes it just a little bit easier. And
Yeah.
then I like having the breadth of having the different canvases. So to me, it kind of gives it more breadth. When
Yeah.
you're looking at it,
Yeah.
I feel like it has more breadth.
Would you want it on a white ground? I mean, below the canvases, perhaps? Instead
Yeah, I
of the
mean,
brown
this is
paper?
just craft paper, so I protected the floor.
Mm.
Right,
Yeah,
Right,
no,
but-
on
but
a
if-
wall, I would put it on a white wall, sure.
yeah, yeah.
I really like the left-hand canvas, the bottom, and how free and how those colors have gone together. Not that one, no. It's the one on the left here.
The far
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
Yes, the far left, like the
This one,
combination
yeah.
of that. Yes, that
Yeah.
is that's so
Yeah.
much movement in there.
Yeah,
and,
energy, look at that.
and energy. I mean, I think it stands on its own if you wanted it to.
Yes,
It's a very, very, because it's got a Zen feeling about it. I think that's what it is. It really does have a feeling.
Well, it looks calligraphic. It looks like
I
a,
don't
it looks like a
Yeah.
very expensive kind of Chinese,
Yes,
Yes.
but it's
where it's all done in a
but it's
particular
kind of-
movement, a particular
it's kind
mode.
of it's kind of dancing. That's what I like. It's the movement. It's the movement in it that's attracted
Yeah.
my eye.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I love this the one on the far right that you started with.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beauty. It just,
I wonder if it would be good to have one piece just white, to break it up. Let's say in the middle, that one with the red one, to take it out,
Mm.
take it, could be.
Take that piece out
Yeah.
of,
The one with the red is a little too descriptive, whereas the other pieces are completely abstract.
yeah.
One with the red starts becoming illustrational or descriptive,
Yeah.
meaning, you impose this very specific shape in this particular area with a white line, around it. So in a way, it's inconsistent with the other elements. in the
You know what,
rest of the piece.
I agree with you. I don't even know if I think the next step when I go back in is to figure out additional color. And I'm not sure,
oh,
that I would keep this color or I don't know. What do you?
I don't know. I think you can just rearrange them, take the red one out because I
Yeah.
think it, for the reasons I just said, and then just arrange it again and see what happens. And then, deal with it, if you want to add an extra panel or not.
hmm.
But I'm just saying the approach, is.
Yeah, well, you're right. It was already, as you saw, it was pretty much painted. The only thing that I had done was
Right.
try to add to the painting so it looked like it was connected to the other canvases.
Yeah,
Right.
understood.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I like the shape of this canvas.
Mm.
But maybe being white is interesting.
Try it.
I
Just
think
put
that's what I see. I'd like that piece out altogether.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
have one,
The
two,
one with the
three.
red, just take it out. See what
Oh, I
happens?
see.
Yeah. Okay,
Mm.
I can do that.
Or make it white. Who knows? You have to try it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's just it's too busy and too conglomerated and
So if you took
don't know
out
where to go.
the whole central thing, the whole central part, and had the two end pieces, those are really beautiful, as well as the blue panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this
Is
blue
that
and
what-
the red, they go more, it comes more like a Mondrian into my mind.
Right.
Yeah, and that goes with the one above it,
That's,
which
I
seems like a separate thing.
don't know.
Yeah.
So you're saying the two like columns on both ends,
Yeah.
which is originally how I was going to paint it.
They go together beautifully.
They do. Barbara's right.
You know, there's something to be said for, the simplicity and just
Yes.
consistency
Yeah.
of feeling and
Exactly.
thought, which
Mhm.
is, what we were just talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think that's a great idea, Barbara. It looks, I could see it in my head.
Yeah, yeah, with a white
Yeah,
white
yeah.
boundary around it, a white border.
Yeah.
It's
I
so,
don't-
they're
Maybe the
so
whole
beautiful.
middle
These
piece
end panels are
too
so
much.
beautiful, Marie.
Oh, thanks.
Yes,
So could
I
try
agree.
that.
Are. Yeah, the gestural elements and the end, the end
Mm.
right, left panels are really nice. Are
And
beautiful.
the end pieces take care, they make most of the white space,
Right.
the
Mhm.
two end
Yeah, there's
pieces.
space there. That's right.
It's just beautiful.
Mhm.
I
Thanks. I'm
mean,
gonna-
they're separate so you can play around with them.
Yeah, I really like this approach
Ah,
of having multiple canvases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like fun to paint that way. I don't know.
Good.
It's more
yeah, that's so
interesting.
cool.
Yeah,
Keep doing it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thanks.
you're a puzzle lover. They're
I'm a
almost like
puzzle
the
lover,
pieces-
yeah.
Yeah, pieces of a puzzle that you can arrange and rearrange.
Right.
Well, thanks.
And it's something that would be pleasing on the wall to look at and
Yes.
to look at and relook at. I think.
Thanks.
Yes.
I think if I did that though, I would have to connect those two somehow.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you do.
Yeah, maybe I don't. I could look at that.
Yeah.
Maybe just the color itself connects.
Yeah,
Not
the
not
color
close
against
to
the
each other,
white
but
is just wonderful.
right, with a white strip or panel in between them. Maybe just a white strip.
Okay, well, I
So
will.
they're not connected per se.
Yeah.
They need a little, they look
Space.
like, I agree with you. They look like they need a little space.
Yeah.
Hello? Yes.
Okay. Do you
Hmm.
want to move and go into this artist that I mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
Because I think
Mhm.
that's everything that was submitted by you guys today. So there's a bunch of stuff we can look at. We have time.
I can
Yeah.
show you a video of the of a thing I did, but
What do you want to do?
I didn't know how to send it to you. But I can do it next week. It's fine.
You can, I can share the screen with you too, and you can just,
Yeah, I just didn't know how to send it to you by email, so you have it. That's what I mean.
yeah, you can do it yourself.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I don't want to interrupt. I'm just saying that I could do it.
Well, you want to do it?
Sure.
What's the video of?
It's basically a very short piece of the way I learned to work, and it's a very small class. I do share, do I, at the bottom here?
So yeah, you can share. You
Got
just
it?
Has the video sound?
Wait a minute. This isn't going the way I expected it. Hang on. Share I'm looking for my desktop.
Anita,
Yeah.
does that video have sound or not?
Does it have sound? Yes, it just has a bit of
Then
background.
you have to go to share portion of the screen, and you have to make a check mark to share the sound. Otherwise,
Okay.
we don't hear it.
But if I press share, okay, let me do it again. Okay. Can I get to my lap? I'm not sure what's going on here. Somehow or other, I'm not making it work. So let's do it next week.
you have to go to you go to share, and then you have the options of various screens, apps.
I did that, but it's taken me back to the beginning, which is not cool. So I'm going to say, I should have said something earlier on. Let me do it next week, and let's do it that way. Yeah, it makes better sense. Okay.
Okay.
But,
So just
it does
so
say
when you-
I am screen sharing, but it's weird. It's not behaving as you
you
would
have to
expect.
choose which screen you want to share.
Yeah, there is there is an option which says advanced.
Okay.
And when you have advanced, you go like portion of the screen.
Okay, are you seeing my screen now?
Yes, we do.
Okay, whoops. It's gone. Okay, let me do it next week. I'm just making a mess of it because it's not doing what it did last time I shared, and I'm not quite sure why.
Okay.
So okay, we'll do it next week.
So let's do this.
Mm.
So this is the artist, Roussel. Okay.
Save
And
it
this was that.
yourself.
So this is the artist that I hadn't, was really not familiar with. And this is the show at Michael Werner Gallery in New York City. And he was a post-impressionist. As I said, he was a Nabi. He painted alongside of Bonnard and Vuillard. I mentioned all of that.
Yeah.
So
that's the only reason that I recognize him, because of just from reading things about Bernard and Vuillard. They mention that he was a friend, that he was visiting, things like that.
right.
Yeah.
So, it was interesting because I had mentioned last week that just seeing art and images through my phone and my computer had become kind of monotonous. Remember? And
yes,
I said,
I remember.
kind of losing an interest in painting because it was, and then I walked into this show and I completely remembered what I loved about painting.
Good. Good. That's good news.
Because it was so immediate.
Yeah.
What painting is, what it can do.
Oh, look at this.
That is a satyr. And it's so strange. Because it's sort of, are we looking at a rape? It's quite a.
I don't have the titles of these, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think what's amazing about this painting particularly is the movement.
Yeah.
That everything is alive. It's like everything is moving, trees, the wind, the figures. It's all in motion. This was a fairly big piece, probably 4 feet by 3 feet, something like that.
Are these paintings in like from a museum or private?
These are from various collections, the private collections, and pieces that Michael Werner has collected over the years. So apparently none of these paintings were known or had been seen.
Right.
I spoke to the gallerist there, and apparently, yeah, these paintings had not been seen previously.
Mm.
Really? Hmm.
And when were
You
they
know,
painted?
They're painted pretty much the early 20th century. He was
Yeah.
born in the late 19th century.
Mm.
He painted in the late 19th century as well,
Yeah.
and into the early
Mm.
20th century.
Could you go back to the last one again?
So, so
This, when you look at this, if you can blot out the figures, it could be so contemporary. You know, it's just such beautiful painting. The lower half there.
beautifully painted, and
Yeah.
there's like the way he used paint, and I think what I really loved about it when I walked in was that it was really, really lush. It was really
Yeah.
saturated. There was this deep kind of ambiance to everything, this sort of almost
Mm.
romantic feeling.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, just the feeling and of the light, you know, of the
Mm.
paint color. It
Mm.
was, you know, very sensual, which I
Even in
like.
a photograph that comes through.
It comes across, yeah.
Was he in any way related to Puvis,
To who?
de Chavannes?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
He
I
was?
think it was maybe Puvis was a little before, right? I'd have to look. But yes, there's a connection.
Something about that,
Yes,
that reminds me of him.
yes.
But you could see that sort of the knobby shapes. Was Puvis a knobby? I don't remember
I think he was earlier, wasn't he?
He was earlier, I
Yeah.
think.
earlier.
But there's
Mm.
something about this that reminded me of him.
Mm.
I'm looking up. So he was, yeah, Puvis was like about 50 years earlier.
Oh,
So
well.
um, he was
Mm.
sort of mid 19th century to late 19th century.
Mhm.
He was born in
Mm.
1824 and
The
died.
bottom part of this also looks very Bonnard-like.
Well, there was definitely a connection. So the reason why he
Yeah.
is not as well known is because he was painting classical subjects. So
Ah.
he was painting mythological subjects and classical subjects. Whereas when you think about Bonnard, it was you know a true modernist, and Vuillard, they were painting domestic scenes. They were
Yeah.
painting very banal domestic scenes in the bath, you know, Vuillard in interiors of rooms. They were all very interior and you know,
Mm.
so they were more connected with modernism
Mhm.
and with kind of real life, as it were. And he was more of a classicist. He was bringing, you know, classic subjects, but he was treating them in a way that was influenced by Gauguin and Van Gogh before him, and just, you know, loosening up of the paint.
Mm.
Mhm.
So it didn't kind of translate. So at the time, like now we're interested because, you know, everything is, you know, interesting now, you know.
Yes.
But at the
It's all grist
time,
for the mill.
he was probably not as, you know, well liked because he wasn't because of his references to classical and mythological subject matter. It was
Yeah.
considered, you know, whatever, you know, what's the word?
Mm.
Out of fashion.
Mhm.
But today it's more interesting because, you know, it's almost, you know, people paint like this almost ironically, like Marcus Lupertz is painting like this now. He's painting like
Marcus
in a more classical or romantic, you know,
Lupertz.
realistic style.
Mhm.
So his drawings were really great.
That is exciting.
Mm.
That is really exciting.
This? Oh, this. Oh boy, look at that. Yeah,
Mm.
that is great. Mm-mm. Mm.
Mm.
Again, you see like just
It's
everything
yummy.
is moving.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, ah, oh boy.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way that blue is there is amazing. And the touches on the
Yeah.
trunks, how the trunks come, you know, if you narrow your eyes, it's amazing. It's an amazing thing, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just like how he's using these abstract marks,
Yes.
to finally suggest, you know,
Well, that's the
figurative
ghost
or
of an art
natural.
gallery in the back there. I'm not sure if it's intentional.
I'm not. Oh, that's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
reflection in the glass.
Oh, okay, all right. Because that looks rather good.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now I get it. Yes, it was behind glass.
Yeah,
All
there's
right.
a lot of reflection going on in some of
Okay.
the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I like the different color, whatever it is, inks or
Mm.
probably chalks.
Rock. Mm.
Beautiful.
But I think he was accepted by the Academy, right?
He was
Ah.
what?
Accepted at the Academy. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I mean, he's
I'm not so sure about that.
really, yeah.
Ah.
I think the style was much too loose for the Academy. I think the Academy was more rigid at the time.
I
Isn't
like
this
this
a nice
thing
one?
where the introduction of color appeals to me, just very simple. I like that one.
Yes. I like this too. Mm.
Yeah. And like sort of
Beautiful.
olive and really
Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
To me, there's something, what's the word? I don't know, just so direct and visceral about this kind of work that, allows a certain, it's so open. The subject is so direct and simple,
yeah.
but yet the treatment somehow is, so successful, just visually interesting that, the simple subject allows the, artist to express what really is interesting to, him in this case, which is, the visual engagement and wanting to stay with this piece and, examine it and explore it. And I like that aspect of painting. I like that aspect of art. Where the subject is not the only thing that's happening, right? It's in the execution, how it's done.
Mm.
To me, that's
Ah.
Yes. Know what you
what
mean.
makes it interesting.
Oh. Oh, the reflections here. It's hard.
Yeah.
Hard to see. Yeah.
A lot of reflection.
Yeah.
I don't know why I love this stuff.
More.
This.
I do.
Oh my.
I like
This
this
is a
one a lot.
strange
too.
one.
Yeah, I like the left side especially. It's
Right.
that it's so beautiful.
Mm. He lived until
you,
20th
What
century.
is his name again? I couldn't get that. It's
his last name is Roussel, Roussel.
Yeah.
Mm.
He lived till
I haven't seen that.
1944.
Wow.
Sorry?
He
Ooh.
lived until 1944.
Yeah.
So well into the 20th century.
So did Bonnard.
Mhm.
Yeah. 1940 or something. Yeah. I think. Look at that.
You like that?
Kind of hard to see.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, reflection again.
Mhm.
oh. I do like that. Hmm. Hmm. What's the medium that they put it under glass?
You know, I don't know why they put all of this stuff under glass. I guess these are pastels, and
Because
Ah,
they could be smudged. It's that.
yeah.
think, and I don't know. I'm
Mm.
not sure. This is actually quite big, this piece. It was probably 3 feet by 3 feet, something like that.
Jeez.
Looks like Cezanne in many ways, bathers.
Hey, there's here.
Mm.
So, he would have been definitely aware of Cezanne and Gauguin.
Yeah, I think the leg here is a very weird.
Yeah, for
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
sure.
look at that.
When
Yeah, pretty crazy.
it's wrong there.
Yeah.
That's why he was expelled from the academy.
Probably did that on
Your
purpose to
legs.
get expelled.
You gotta have legs coming from the hips.
No reason to be so picky.
Oh, look at this.
What is she, like a mermaid or something? Like a,
I don't know what the subjects are of these, what the
Yeah.
references are. They're probably all to classical.
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Mm.
This is your territory, Barbara,
Um,
in a way, the way it's actually done has a feel of what you do.
Oh, maybe that's why I like it. I like the touch of it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
Mm. This too.
That. I like.
I like
Mm.
that too.
That's I like this white space.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
That's very elegant.
yeah, it's this dry,
Wow. Says
dry
Christian.
color style in a way. The dry, it's
Yeah, brushing.
dry color style.
Right.
Very
Ah.
Tiepolo comes to mind.
Oh yeah.
Nice, it's nice. They are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Mhm.
Um,
Nice.
I thought so.
Yeah.
It was very, to see these in a gallery,
Yeah.
there was quite a few more. I mean, I just, I mean,
Yeah,
I just photographed what I like, but there was quite a number of others. And just to go into a room like that and have this kind of work that is really has a sensibility, a kind of that, as I said, this sensuality and that you could, you really perceive through your eyes. You could perceive the touch with your
Mm.
that was something that I really missed.
Yeah.
Sure,
I said
yeah.
dragon, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm.
So then let's see what else I saw. Actually, yeah. I think I actually there's a couple of pieces from the following day when I wasn't feeling so great, and I went to MoMA, and I was
Oh.
kind of sorry that I did because I
Oh.
wasn't feeling that well.
Mm.
Here's what I saw.
Mhm.
So this is a huge painting in the atrium,
Oh.
and we all know who this is, right?
Mhm.
No.
Mm.
Of course.
Who is it?
Alex
Who is
Dog.
it?
Alex.
Alex Katz?
Yeah.
Oh, is it really Alex Katz?
Yeah. So these are very recent
Oh.
paintings. I think, I think they're
Oh.
within the last couple of years. He's in his 90s now.
Oh, right.
So but this is huge. I mean, this is an enormous painting.
This is
Mm.
interesting for me because look at how he
Right.
uses the panels and he doesn't really need to connect them.
No.
No.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you, Alex.
So it was really funny for me. This was, I kind of loved this painting.
I
Yes,
love
I
this
do too.
too. This is
I
great.
like this one.
Me too.
Oh.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of reflection on this. This was actually quite a bit darker.
This
And
is
Oh.
muted.
so the light and dark really had a, profound.
Is it very large, Mark?
Yes, these are all huge.
Yeah.
This
Beautiful.
is probably, I'm guessing, 8 by, whatever, 12 feet, something like that.
It's beautiful.
Just guessing. So the thing that was interesting about these paintings was they're so out of fashion today.
Are they?
Totally. Totally. It's like you
Mm.
can't paint like this anymore.
Oh.
Just like, I mean, he's like painting just, breeze. He's painting just color. It's just, very thin and it's very,
Oh.
beautiful. It's just, and I was just thinking how
Oh.
liberating it was or is, to paint that way, because in today's environment, you can't do that anymore. It's just not serious, let's say. It's not,
Oh.
subject isn't deep enough. I mean, he's, inspired by Matisse or whoever, just saturated colors, the optical experience,
Yeah.
but still making really
Oh.
interesting paintings. This is just so sweet in a way.
Yeah. It is. sweet.
And it's so it's just about, it's just visual, optical effects,
Yeah.
and what's still, what hits the eye, and that's enough. It's enough. We
Yeah.
can take pleasure in that, and that just isn't enough anymore, in today's art world.
No. I when I saw the Alex Katz show at the Guggenheim, now I remember that there was at the end of the show, there were some pieces like this, but
Yeah.
they really paled next
Right.
to his earlier work,
Right.
which is so much fuller,
Right.
I don't know, more complete or something. So I kind of discounted these. They seem so, I don't know, even though they're huge, they seem so insubstantial.
Right. They're kind of light
Yeah.
and yeah,
Mm.
casual in a way. Just painting a line, painting these branches,
Mm.
but he's, he's not young, obviously, and he has a career behind him.
Mhm.
So it was kind of interesting seeing these because they were just, they're so in another world, of modernism.
Mhm.
I
And
really like what you're saying, Mark, about
trying to say something.
I think it's
I think it's
interesting
working.
what you're
Mhm.
saying about being famous in a way too, because it gives you a freedom to do whatever you want and people look at your work.
Yeah.
So if it weren't him, maybe
Well-
it wouldn't get into MoMA, what you're
Well,
saying.
at the same time, he's
Mm.
very, very good. He
Yes.
really is good at what he does. He can really pull this off. I mean, these are not, you know, boring paintings. They're not badly painted. They're really very, it's like a kind, he has a kind of a shorthand,
Yeah.
you know, that's his own thing, you know, and he's definitely painting something that he saw or something he feels again. Like this is from beneath a tree or something, looking up,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
They're very specific. Like he definitely gets some sort of, you know, he's saying something.
Yeah.
Hans,
But-
we can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay. You know, it's typical Alex Katz, I think. But
Yeah.
there is a connection, I think, to the old now, also the new paintings of David Hockney, you know, which
Yes.
has similar take of those things. A little.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of trees.
It's a little bit like, you know, like once you get like 90 years old, you are allowed to do
You're
that's what we considered as kitsch, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. And but I mean, there is something going on, you know. But but maybe we have to look at the new things of David Hockney too.
Yes, that'd be interesting.
And how he did these landscapes, and which are also very interesting in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge panels, and you know. But I think it's definitely Alex Katz. There is still something. I like with Alex Katz, you have a feeling there is something missing, that it's not, you know.
Right.
It's just on that edge, you know. Which
Yeah.
is, but it works, you know.
Yeah.
And that's I like that in a way, that he refers always to a certain minimalism,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
which David Hockney doesn't, you know.
Right.
But you know, this piece here, this is so Hockneyish.
Yeah, it is Hockneyish.
It's very Hockneyish, you know, in a way.
Yeah, the colors. Yeah.
And also the how, you know, it's a lot of things going on.
I think part of the big difference is that Katz has always been a New York painter, and Hockney is an Englishman on the West Coast, you know, in LA. And I think that
Yes,
you know, that makes all the difference between their two approaches.
One of the things it's reminding me of is the days when people used to paint directly on their walls before wallpaper.
Oh, like murals kind of thing?
Well, people used to paint wallpaper. In other words, before you could get it on rolls. And sometimes you see it in the background of films. And it was also very much up with the Bloomsbury group. And I got a book on it once. And what they drew, they actually drew, you know, patterns on their walls. And it sort of reminds me that, you know, maybe I wouldn't mind giving that a shot in my life, you know, to paint a wall.
You should. Why not?
Because especially the yellow one, you could sort of almost think of it that way. That would be lovely, you know, on a wall, actually painted on the wall.
Yeah.
Hey,
if you know, if you didn't like it, you could always put real wallpaper over it.
Of course. But it's just a lost art form, of course. It's you know, it's not art with a capital A, but some of the stuff they did, I mean, the artists in the Bloomsbury group, I did like it a lot. But they deliberately domesticated it. It was the idea of bringing the arts and crafts on the same plane, not making a distinction.
Yes.
And I like that. I've always liked that attitude.
Yes, I like that too. Yeah.
Now, this is amazing.
Thinking.
Hans, do you recognize this painter?
I thought I have a feeling I know it, but
This is life size, meaning it's the size of this, you know, like garage. Roll down. This roll down door.
Yeah.
It's not Kiefer, is it?
It sits on the floor. It's not a Kiefer.
No.
It's Martin Wong.
Huh.
You know, Martin Wong.
It's a little bit scary.
It's not alive anymore, right?
What?
Is he
What?
still alive?
No, I think he passed. Didn't he die?
Yeah, I think very young, right?
Yes, very young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw one time at the Karma here in a gallery. I saw pieces of him, but I was not aware of this. Yeah,
He was an East Village artist.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is called
Mm.
Houston Street. He's
Mm.
famous.
Ah, okay.
It's a bit frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
So he had, yeah, he was a very interesting artist, very obsessive, and he was kind
Yes.
of, I guess, sort of known when he was alive, right? He had, but only, in very, very limited circles. I mean, he had been discovered by the New York art world as a
Right.
downtown artist.
Yeah.
But I don't know that much about him, but this really painted beautifully.
Mm.
This
Mm.
Yes.
And, he liked painting walls. He painted like the courtyard of, outside of his apartment building, which looked out to other tenements, basically. He liked painting tenements, very kind of oppressive,
Mhm.
New
Yeah.
York,
Yeah.
interior.
I mean, that has a sort of the ghost of a cattle truck, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Taking
Yeah. So it's
The
a little
ghost of a
ominous.
what?
It's a little ominous.
cattle truck, taking Jews to Auschwitz.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Oh.
that's why I say, and all the locks and chains. I mean, there's something quite upsetting about this. I mean, I've never seen a garage look like that. It's something else going on here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Would you say that this is photorealistic?
No,
I
not really.
wouldn't-
No, it's something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
realism, but not
Yeah.
photorealism.
It doesn't
Yeah.
look like it could.
Photorealism is a conceptual approach to
Mm.
painting. And
Oh.
it's right. So it's basically painting the surface of a photograph. It doesn't matter what the photograph is, really. It doesn't matter what the subject is. It doesn't matter that it's even photographic, right? You're just painting. You're painting what, is the surface of the photograph. So it's like a minimal, it's minimalism. And so the subject is not that important per se. It's really,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was like if something looks like a photograph, like to me, this could have been a
So
photo,
here's,
but
so
you're
this,
painting it
yeah,
like.
but this was never a photograph.
No.
Oh,
So
you mean like to
photorealism,
photorealist, it has to be a photograph that you're doing it from?
photorealism basically reproduces photographs
Yeah.
in paint.
Oh, okay. So realism
This is
is,
realism.
gotcha. Oh, I didn't know that distinction. Thank you.
I mean, I think that's a simple way of putting it.
Mm.
Simple
Is that
stuff.
right, Han?
Yes.
Say that.
Yes.
I just love these tones of
Yeah.
color above the grid or
Mm.
grill, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Look
And
at
it's
that.
really big. As I said, it's basically life
Yeah.
size or almost life size.
Mm. Yeah.
Interesting.
This is yummy, strangely enough. I mean, it looks, when you first look at it, it has a very ominous look. But then as I keep looking at it, it really is a very beautiful surface, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It
Oh.
feels like clouds.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also the pattern making is very
Yeah.
similar to indigenous, Aboriginal Indian kind of iconography. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it has that feeling of either being Asian or in weaving or in iconography, that pattern in the center, that strip.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it kind of has a
grill.
certain, so it's very painted. It's very, it has a certain oppressive feeling, but yet it's very elegant in a strange
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Well,
Which is
in a way, it's like
simplicity.
the Aboriginal paintings of New Zealand. Is it, is it
Australia.
Australia, the
Aber-
Aboriginal.
Yeah,
The
Oh,
Aboriginals. If you, I could visualize this in a rectangular shape in the kind of work that they did, which was it's patterned work,
Yeah.
and somehow they're imbuing past tribal feelings and associations in it. Do you know what I mean, Blanc?
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mm.
But this, of course, is a huge thing,
yeah.
and I'm thinking of,
Different.
they
Yeah.
are, I think it's Australian Aboriginals, one of them,
Yeah.
but they're very compelling pieces.
Aren't they usually more linear, Phyllis? I
Yeah,
don't
well, I
know.
see these as linear.
Yeah.
It's
Well, see,
linear.
to me, this is more, I see it more as the tonal. The linear is just the grid, and but the tonal use of color and
Oh,
blending.
right.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
It
It
is.
is, it's very
is.
beautiful.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Gotta
So
look up Martin Wong.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
this is Kate Collins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hans
Did-
could do this.
Really.
Did you see the show at MoMA?
I walked through it pretty quickly because I
Yeah.
wasn't feeling so good.
Right, right.
Mhm.
So oh, sorry about that.
What did you do?
I don't know. Let me see there. Okay. I walked through it pretty quickly.
Mm.
I just didn't have energy.
Sure. Yeah.
I was sort of overdoing it, because I didn't want
Oh,
to.
yeah.
I don't know why there's that thing in the middle. What happened?
Hmm.
Okay. I don't know what this thing is in the center. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Let me try doing this again.
Mm.
Okay, there.
Mhm.
So this was part of there was probably eight of these in different stages,
Mm.
and it's a mother and a dead child.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Pretty powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, her work is amazing, and she's an incredible artist, incredible draftsperson.
Mm.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
draw and really develop a surface and really
Yeah.
develop these nuances. And she spent a lot of time doing it.
Mhm.
Like a lot of these, I think this is an etching, but a lot of these pieces are sanded and then different, materials or different, I should say, different processes are used. She
Mm.
really gets an interesting surface.
Yeah.
Um, I thought this was one of her best images. I didn't love everything,
Yeah.
but it's very, very moving stuff. It's very
Yeah.
empathetic, has a deep sense of empathy
Yeah.
and feeling. That was everything in her work.
Mm.
So this was an earlier
Mm.
arrangement of the same theme, an earlier
Mm.
theme. But you can see, I love this one, and it's beautiful graphically. It's
Mm.
very, kind of classic, elegant,
Mm.
and but you can see how she moved from this, which was almost too graphic for her, to this, which she sort of eliminates the formal beauty of this and just
Mm.
goes with the, goes with the visceral, emotional,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Like this is almost
is-
too beautiful,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for that much pain,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
Yeah. So she moves on to this.
but it's interesting that
So
the mom in
sculptural.
this is like an ape to me.
Yeah, very strange, right? I agree.
Yeah. It's
It's
like,
hard to read the face, the head. Yeah.
But to me, it looks so much like death, though. It looks almost, the whole thing looks like a skull or bones, a skull and
Right.
bones.
Mhm.
Right.
How do you say her name, Mark?
Kate, Cathe, right, Hans? Kate Kollwitz,
Kate,
Kollwitz.
yeah,
And she's
Yeah.
Kate.
she was began, I think she was born also in the late 19th century.
Yeah.
So she was, very young, I think during World War I, but she was already drawing and painting and was already sort of recognized and getting commissions and so on and so forth. And she
I
lived
think
through.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think
Not
she and
sure.
her husband were sponsored many people. Were very generous, sharing and raising money for people of.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot if her husband was a clergyman. I don't remember.
Oh, I think he was a businessman or
Oh,
a doctor or
okay.
something. He had
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
resources. She was
Yeah.
born in 1867. So yeah, so she was already, in her 30s at the time of when, even later in her 40s when World War I broke out.
Oh,
And she died in 45, like, just I guess after the war.
yeah.
Of course, the stuff is so pertinent now, isn't it? Of stuff that's going on.
No, good.
And this is just one of the graphics. She was
Oh boy.
really powerful. I mean, she was so good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is, it's
Yeah.
it was meant to arouse your uh, emotions, and she was very involved in, the cause of women and of underrepresented people and marginalization. So she
Yeah.
was everything that,
Right.
he was not during her lifetime.
Yes. Yes.
So she represented all of the better instincts.
Yes. Expressing her outrage at social injustice
Yeah, yeah,
and compassion.
right.
Socially committed works.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just for some comic relief, the
Mhm.
guy with the Keith Haring shirt in the Kate Kollwitz.
Oh, he's great.
Right, yes.
Look at that.
Oh, that's great. Oh my God.
Nice.
Yeah. So this was just a guy I'd never heard of.
Oh,
His name is Parviz Tanavoli, right? Iranian and Canadian.
right.
Hailed as the father of modern Iranian sculpture. He exposed Persian folk traditions, religious themes in his work. During the 60s, he made works by first sculpting drains, faucets, padlocks, lattices, and tube-like sections, and casting them in bronze. Let's see. So, let's see. So I thought this piece was really great. I mean, it really had a lot of presence. It was, kind of unexpected. The strange kind of totemic or anthropomorphism,
Yes.
but kind of with a sense of humor, kind of ridiculous, that
Yes.
boxy square, topped
Yeah.
with these two eyes. It was really a lot of fun. And this thing this hole is a drain. There's little holes in it,
Yeah.
Oh.
like kind of made out of a drain or something. And on these very like kind of Botero-esque feet, right? It
Yeah.
was kind of comical.
That.
I thought it was a pretty good piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And are these random incisions on the plate
Where?
The middle.
on this long rectangle on the
This
top?
thing?
Yeah.
Up
Yeah.
there?
Cross section. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he just used like a box of some sort and then cast it in bronze.
Okay.
They're random little
Yeah.
marks. Yeah. No, it's sort of surreal. It has
It
a sort
is.
of yeah. I don't know. I thought it was
Yeah,
fun.
it is humorous. It's cute.
It is, and it would also work upside down.
Ah,
If you turned it around, it would have the same thing. Be somebody carrying something. There you go. It would be quite fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like the fact that it's so top heavy on these little dainty feet.
Yes. Yes, I do too. Yes.
Gives it a kind of a
Well, it's
gravity.
comic. It's kind of comic.
Yeah. I thought it was fun.
yeah. Looks like it would be a cute wood burning stove.
Yeah, that's what it
That's
reminded me.
correct. Yes, quite correct. Yes.
And this is just a traffic divider outside of MoMA.
There you go. When you get your eye in, everything's a piece of art.
Right? Isn't it true?
I know, it really is. I
You
know.
look at
that's so
everything and
funny.
it has something.
I
It
know,
has-
exactly. It's like,
Oh, this
Yeah.
is adorable.
I
Look
love
at
I
this.
love this one askew eye. Like
Yeah.
looking,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
know,
like a frog that
it's
has
like-
independent eye
I
movements,
know.
like a frog.
Yeah.
It's like a resigned person of the world, you know, who's
Yeah.
just seen it all, you
Well,
know.
that's how I felt when I walked out.
This eye is looking at you, and the other eye is looking for a crab.
Yes. Yeah.
Cab, taxi cab. Yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Very nice, Mark.
So that's it. That's what I have
Well
today.
done. It's really
Thank you.
good.
Very nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
Nice
I
to
hope
see
you
all
go
these
soon
things.
again to the dentist, so we have.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that may be the case.
Oh, you have a follow-up appointment?
I'll have to go a few days earlier so I get more done.
Mhm.
Oh,
Because
joy. Okay. Well, ask for the happy gas.
they didn't offer it to me.
Just ask for it.
They didn't even mention it.
They're there to serve you. Don't forget that. Don't forget
Do they
who's the
do-
boss.
Is that typical now that they have that and
I
they
think it
offer
depends on the dentist. I think like all doctors, less is more for them because there's always a risk with everything. And so they don't offer it. But I think if you were to ask and say, look, I had such a hard time afterwards, I'd appreciate a gas, that you might get away with it. But I did have some dentists just offer it in England anyway, just, just to keep, who knows why, but they do. But I think any doctor prefers to do as little as possible in terms of that sort of thing, like medication and stuff like that.
Okay.
Give it a shot.
Do
I'll
you
give it a
have
shot.
stitches that have to be removed, or are these melting stitches?
Melting. Yeah, they dissolve. They dissolve.
Oh, they sound
Dissolve.
good.
The
Yeah.
stitches. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything
Maybe we
else?
sign off on YouTube.
Oh,
Okay, let's do that. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone, for joining us.
We can maybe
Okay.
have a little. Still have.
Yeah. So I'll just sign off on our YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and I hope you enjoyed our little, what would we call it? Our little
You
walk
bet.
through.
See you all next week, of course.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. All right.
All right.